Britain's Monarch for 23,226 days, 16 hours and just about 30 minutes. And it means she has now surpassed the reign of her great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. Well, our royal events commentator Alistair Bruce is with us. What's she going to be doing? Will she be marking the event in some way?
Well, I think she's sort of done that by going down to Edinburgh today to then open the Borders Railway, and that was an opportunity for her, in the company of her First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, to mark something very special for Scotland. But right now she'll be back at Balmoral, probably just ending tea, and she's with the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and obviously with Prince Philip. And I should imagine she's very aware of the fact, because every newspaper that's laid out will have the fact that this is a special day for her reign. But, you know, it's just part of, as she said, what happens when you're her age.
Well, she sort of implied that she didn't really want it, she hadn't aspired to this, but she has created a remarkable record. And the record, sort of, how precise is it? I gather there's a slight question mark about the exact moment.
Well, what is known is pretty precisely when William IV died, and then the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Lord Chamberlain galloped up to London at Kensington Palace, where they told the 18-year-old Princess Alexandrina Victoria that she was Queen. And they also know the precise time that Queen Victoria died, in January 1901. What we don't know is what time in the night King George VI, the Queen's father, died, because he was found dead in the morning when he was woken up. So that's the only slight muddle, but the Queen, of course, was away in Kenya when she was told that she'd become Queen.
Do you think she's enjoying this day, or sort of perhaps looking quizzically at all the fuss over it?
I think that, like any daughter, she remembers her father very fondly, and these events that we mark are obviously reminders to her of the date and the time that her father died. But at the same time, she recognises that it's also generationally interesting that she, representing a generation that went through the war, and through her reign, provides us with a chance to see how much change has taken place since 1952 in that long reign. And, you know, the world has changed, the society we live in has changed, and with stories like this from Syria and from Greece, you know, you just are aware that throughout her life, events have constantly come to challenge and present all of us with things to think about.
Alistair, thanks very much. It's interesting talking about that change today. We've seen these celebrations around the country in honour of Her Majesty's record reign, but the royal family's public relations haven't always been so rosy. So how has the Queen turned the tide of popular opinion and brought the British monarchy back in favour? Well, let's bring in from central London Telegraph journalist Rebecca Reid and Eve Pollard, author and editor of the Sunday Mirror and the Sunday Express. Good to see you both. Eve Pollard, 63 years, and she seems perhaps more popular than ever.
Isn't it extraordinary? I mean, it's the consistency which I think has made people love the Queen and admire the Queen. Here she is, 89. Most of us would be sort of feet up, perhaps watching something we've missed on TV. She goes into Edinburgh, she goes on a train ride, she meets lots of people, and she's still working. She's still doing what she's done for the whole of her reign. And I think it's that consistency. Of course, we've no idea whether she's enjoying it or not, but that's her brilliance. We have no idea what she thinks at all, but she's been a pivotal guide and a pivotal person throughout the last 63 years.
Rebecca Reid, has the new age of the internet and social media changed perceptions, brought the royal family perhaps closer to the public?
I think so, because the way that we get our information about them has changed, and particularly their use of Twitter and Facebook means that when something momentous happens, like the event today, it's shared with us through social channels like Twitter and Facebook, where we also get news about our friends and our family. So we're used to processing information about the royals in the same way that we process information about our friends, which makes us feel closer to them and more like they are like us.
So, Eve Pollard, do you think, is it the Queen herself who's sort of, if you like, driving this upsurge in popularity, or is it the younger ones who've brought attention back on the family?
I think it's a mixture. I think the Queen herself is very beloved and very admired. I then think, of course, you've got a glamorous couple like William and Kate, and they have these beautiful children. And so people then discuss. I remember covering both of those babies' births, and suddenly people were saying, how long were you in labour for? What was it like for you? So in a way, the brilliant thing about the royal family is they're just like us, but they aren't really. And so I think the Queen, when she does die, it will be quite horrifying to us because, of course, she will have to. She's a human being like all of us. But I can hear all the politicians saying, let's hope she lives as long as her mother. So we have this long reign of someone who's adored. But, of course, the new ones, the baby ones, they're the ones that bring it all to life again. But when you consider what a difficult time she went through when Princess Diana died, I think Princess Diana would be amazed at how popular the royal family still are.
Rebecca Reid, tell us a little about the relevance of the royal family to your generation and those that you write for and talk to.
I mean, of course, they always divide opinion, and any generation will have people who are both in favour and against. But I think my generation, for all it's the young generation, is very traditional. And I think looking at Wills and Kate, who have this perfect marriage and this wonderful family, and he has an incredible career, and she is a wonderful parent. That's something that's still aspirational, even to women and men who are in their teens and early 20s.
And Rebecca, also, the great-great-grandchildren, or the great-grandchildren, presumably also enhances that feel-good factor that the public have towards the family.
Absolutely. I mean, somebody else having a baby, whether it's a celebrity or a royal or a member of the royal family, is exciting. And it's the kind of low-level excitement that you can have a gossip about, feel excited about, but it doesn't affect your life in any notable way. Like when your friend has a baby, it's wonderful, but then you can give it back and it doesn't change your life. So it's the kind of excitement that we can all digest without having to really commit to.
Eve Pollard, you were talking about the inevitability that one day the Queen won't be with us. I mean, I wonder how well the planning of succession is going and how they would hope to keep the public's love of the royal family even after she leaves us.
I think that Prince Charles is very clever, very bright, has been waiting for this for some time, very ably assisted now by a wife that he is very happy with. And I think they will understand that, of course, there will be interest in Prince George and Princess Charlotte, but I think they will understand that it's the consistency that the Queen has shown, that she always turns up and reads whatever her Prime Minister gives her when it's the opening of Parliament. She is always there for Ascot, she's always there for certain occasions. I think that they'll understand it's the consistency and knowing that they are visible and knowing that people are moved by watching this family, which has had its share of bad luck too, just like everybody else. I think he's well aware that he's going to have to become a bit more like his mother.
We shall see. Eve Pollard, Rebecca Reid, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.